Show started.
If you could make it not make noises,
Yeah.
then you could like put a cat toy on the end of this and just run it around the house.
Well, the other thing you can do is this. And then it fires missiles out the front. So if John doesn't behave himself.
Do it.
I didn't know that they had missiles.
Yes!
When did they get missiles?
Yes! Why were we not waiting till the show to do this, Bill?
We can do it again.
No, now
Yes.
you lost the element of surprise.
I could watch John get shot with little missiles all day long.
Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I'm Bill.
I'm Jenna.
I'm John.
I'm Audie.
And I'm Seth.
And you may notice, if you're watching us on video, that we have a plethora of Star Wars stuff.
Did you leave anything for the children?
Just a few things, Bill.
Yes. So Linda and I went to Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, the planet of Batuu, and we pretty much bought everything.
Yes, I can see that. There's 8 droids here?
8 droids. Yes. Well, you have to get a variety. So there's our 2 talking.
You don't look guilty at all, Linda.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh, you know what? We forgot to turn on BB for you.
Well, you don't want to turn him on anyway. I'll roll on the table.
Well, yeah, you might. But anyway, yeah. So we bought a number of droids, and I was torn in looking at the different combinations, and I kind of wanted one of each, and then
Got one of each?
got one of each, and then I actually got 2 of some. And so we actually went out, got labels for the back, so they all have their official designation on the back now. So this guy is SR-71, or Blackbird.
Nerd.
Yep. This guy, we named Apollo because he looks like an Apollo moon rock.
Yeah, he does.
And so that's his APLO.
And for people who aren't looking and maybe can't even see it on the podcast, all these labels are in Arabesh, the Star Wars kind of standard written language.
Camera, so. Let's see.
You know, every now and then I will look at the stuff around my house and go, God, I'm a nerd. But then I come to Bill's house and I'm just like, God, you're a nerd.
Yeah, he might have all this stuff, but does he have a lightsaber? I don't see one anywhere.
Here.
That's the one you built?
No.
No,
I didn't build any there.
Well, to be fair, you already have a shit ton of
I
lightsabers.
have
To be
like
fair.
9, I think. Well, and the reason I didn't build one wasn't because I had 9.
It's because you needed droids.
Well, I needed droids, but the main reason I didn't build them is because their lightsabers.
Do you have your lightsaber? You didn't get one at all?
No.
Okay.
Because their lightsabers, they have like a core that has all the electronics in it, which is about as big around as our lightsabers are. But then they put more metal over the top of that to customize it, so it makes it a lot fatter.
Oh.
Oh, so they're really big and fat?
They're fatter, plus
It doesn't look like a lightsaber. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, plus the other thing is, they sell these kyber crystals. And I'll open this up and pass one around so you guys can look at it. So,
What the?
it's just
Oh.
And it
pass that
changes
one
the
that
color
way.
of your lightsaber?
So the kyber crystal color determines the color of your. Oh, that one's already in one. Here, I'll give you the red one.
It's okay. You don't have to open it. I'm like paranoid we're going to lose something.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. So, so it's a little crystal. So this determines, two things: your lightsaber color, but then these also go into the holocrons, the Jedi holocrons that they sell. And then depending upon the color of the crystal, it determines who talks to you out of the holocron.
Oh.
So each one, so if you get the green one, in fact, I think I have it here, yeah. So if you get a green kyber crystal, it could be Qui-Gon Jinn or Yoda. Or it could be the Yoda 8-ball.
The what?
The Yoda 8-ball. So if you put that in your holocron and it's the Yoda 8-ball, then you can ask it existential questions. Like, will I go to lunch with Audie? And then you push the side buttons and then Yoda will come on and say, dark and clouded is the future. You know.
Uncertain it is.
Yeah, uncertain it is. Things like that.
So not only do they sell all these different crystals,
right?
So there are multiple colors, but
Correct.
you also don't know who you're getting in
No,
that.
you don't.
So if you don't get who you want,
You
you
keep
have to
buying.
buy more
Right.
crystals.
Right.
Sleazy
So you
marketing
can buy
sales.
3 or 4 crystals, and it's a random thing. You don't know who you're getting. So you could get 3 of the same and then still have to buy. So actually, if you look on YouTube, you'll find YouTube videos out there where people have gone out and this is like their 30th trip to Disneyland and they're trying to get a specific crystal with a specific voice in it. And the guy, the last one I watched, the guy was like his 27th trip and he was trying to get a black crystal and he opened it up and it was another red one. And he just threw the whole thing in the air and just walked off.
Are there people?
How much do
selling
each
the
one of these cost?
$15.
Brilliant.
Are
Now
there
imagine
people
25 of
that
those.
are trying to sell these on eBay?
Yes.
Of course.
And if you look on eBay, these will go anywhere from $25 to $70.
Wow. Unopened or open?
It depends. If they're unopened,
I guess you have to go lower because you could get a repeat.
right. And if they're opened and they tell you who they are and they're kind of a rare one, then they're going to ask more money for
What's
it.
Yeah,
the
they are.
rarest one?
What's that?
What's the rarest one?
The black is by far the rarest. It's very hard to get a black
What's
one.
the
Now,
voice of the black one?
the black one is Snoke.
Huh.
If it's black,
Lame.
or you could get a red Snoke.
A red Snoke?
Yeah, there's red. You can get Snoke in the red, but the
Snoke in
black
the red.
one.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah.
Is that a new position?
The new
I
Star Wars.
was going to actually hold on to that one.
Now,
Smoke with 2 fingers, whatever that means.
now, let me hand me that Sith Jedi holocron over there.
You've got the Jedi holocron.
Oh, I got it right here. Sorry. So, for those just listening, so this is a square box, and it's got these little.
Can I say,
Yeah.
though, at first glance looking at it, it kind of looks a bit more like the puzzle box from Hellraiser.
Yes, yes, it
Like,
does.
I'm not sure I want you to
Oh,
open
we can show you such sights.
I didn't go.
So basically, on this thing, you take and you twist the corners,
Like a puzzle box.
right, and then you can probably hear it come on there. Okay, and then once it makes all those weird little alien noises, you can put 2 fingers on either side of it, and it will talk to you.
Keeping my jokes to myself.
Oh, come on.
May the force of others be with you. The force is strong. The force is with me.
That was a little breathy.
May the force of others be with you.
May the
Yeah.
force of others
So
be with you.
I don't know. I think there's
Sound
like.
the floor.
Let me turn this off for a minute.
Wax
So-
on, wax
Wax
off.
on, wax
Yeah.
off.
So I think there's about a dozen
on.
different
Full
things he
on.
says, and it's just random as to which message you get.
Yeah.
Now, there's also, this is the Jedi one, there's also a Sith one, which I had, but I had to send back because it didn't work. It turned on and it made the weird alien noises, but it never talked. So the one I've got in the Jedi one right now is the white crystal, which the white crystal could be Ashoka Tano or Chirrut, and this we have Chirrut on this one right now.
Are these all sealed up, like when you buy them?
Yes,
Like
they're
plastic wrapped?
sealed. They're plastic wrapped,
So
and
the
you have to
employees
tear
can't go through them and find.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
Correct. And when you go to buy one, you tell them what color you want, and then they'll bring out several colors, and then you just pick. And so that the story is, if the force is strong with you and you pick a red one, you may get the black one.
If the capitalism is strong
Yes.
with you.
I can't help but think of being a little kid and you just want that one favorite character.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, maybe your family has really tried really hard to get you out there and get this experience, and you're just not going to get it because they
Correct.
can't afford to go through all of this.
Right. Now, there is a workaround,
Oh.
which I'm going to tell folks about. So, these
a workaround for.
You're gonna
for getting
Blow
the
up our
crystal that you
podcast?
want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, these
the walls start shaking and then like a mouse-shaped robot just like fits
comes
through
in.
the wall.
Yeah, knocks me out.
The Disney
All right.
army's coming to get you. Right
So
now.
these Kyber crystals work because they have an RFID tag in them.
He's about to ruin the market for all those people who's got
Yes,
them on eBay.
right.
Hey, he is actually bringing what is it? Socialism to the people.
That's right.
Spreading the resources.
Hack the world.
Yeah.
So what I did when I was there is I bought one blue one,
Does Disney have labor camps? 'Cause
probably,
That's
And
Disney World.
and I purchased one red one because I got a red Kyber crystal, and I thought, well, I'll purchase one, see if by chance I get a black. Well, I got a red, which is fine.
I'm surprised you didn't actually buy all of them there.
Just to try. And then I bought a white one. And the reason I bought a white one is I thought the white one I could make any color I want because it's a simple RFID tag. So if you go to Amazon, you can buy an RFID reader writer. It actually also rewrites door cards, which I tested, and it works great that way too. So now, I will give you a warning when you're out there and you go to buy this. This one that I have here is sold by Zonson. There is an identical model that I bought. It's made by a different company. I can't remember the name right now. I can put it in the comments when we put this up. But it looks absolutely identical, but it will not read these crystals.
So as you're about to hack other people's stuff, make sure you have the right hacking devices.
Right.
Yeah.
Make sure you have the Zonson one.
If
Okay.
you're going to the Disney labor camp, make it worth
So
your time.
what I'm
Yeah.
going to do now is I'm going to put this crystal, I'm going to hold it up to the back to the reader, and then I'm going to push scan.
Read failure.
Hold on. You got to get it in just the right spot.
You will die 1,000
There we
deaths
go.
in our camp. Ho-ho.
880.
Okay, so read success. Card number, it thinks it's a card, is 3080, which corresponds to Chirrut. Okay?
Have you tested that? It does.
Yeah, so we heard Chirrut talking on here, right? So now I'm going to change it. So we have a choice here. You guys tell me who you want. We can have Maz Kanata, we can have Qui-Gon Jinn, Yoda,
I want
Darth
Snoke.
Maul.
Give us Snoke.
You want Snoke. Okay, so Snoke
You
is
would want Snoke.
Make it the black one.
Snoke is
yeah.
3123. So I'm going to do input.
You're a little jealous, Seth.
I
You
mean,
didn't think of it first.
well, I didn't think of it first because I can't afford to go down to Disney and spend money.
Number is 3123.
Okay, now I'm going to write it.
Write success.
Okay,
Read
now I'm going to
success.
read it again.
Read success.
But
Card
you-
number is 3123.
Okay.
You are right. I totally would do this. So
Now, you open up, you drop it in here, close the door, and you turn it on.
It just turns red. Vroom.
It did turn red.
Oh shit.
Ask and you shall receive. Now it is technically a Sith holocron. And now,
Always two there are. No more, no less.
That's
A
a-
master and an apprentice.
now, we didn't hear Snoke.
No, that was Yoda.
That was Yoda. The reason for that is because this is a Jedi holocron.
Oh.
Even though it'll turn red, you will only hear Yoda. If you put a red crystal in here, it will always be Yoda, and it will be Yoda warning you about the dangers of the dark side.
So you just programmed a black kyber crystal.
I programmed. Yes. Technically, it's black. So put in a Jedi. So if this was a Sith holocron, it would also be red. The Sith holocrons do not change color; they're always red.
Bill, I will be sending you my children as apprentices.
In the dark arts.
In the dark arts.
Basically, yes.
Yes. So this is pretty cool. So technically, you can get a white one. You can program it to anyone you want. So if you have kids and they have a particular favorite Jedi that they want in their holocron, whether it's Jedi or Sith, and you get this device, you can program it to whatever you want and save yourself, hundreds of dollars.
Well, maybe we should put this information. We can make a page on our website and then put all this in the show notes.
Yeah. Why not publicize this hacking?
We've already
Let's get
done
it out there to the people.
He's doing Disney a favor telling them that this exists.
Right.
I think they know. They might not. They might not. Yeah.
You'd be surprised if people
Now,
don't know.
another cool thing is
And
that
he's giving them a public example of punishment.
This is just basically one long advertisement for Galaxy's Edge anyway.
Right.
I mean, we're not telling them not to buy things. We're just saying, hey, look at what you can do if you're a huge fucking nerd.
Right.
And if you have way too much
time on your hands,
surplus capital.
Yes. Now the other thing that's cool is that, and I found there were people at work that have gone to Galaxy's Edge and didn't know this and bought the holocrons.
Mm-hmm.
It's little known, but, and unfortunately I can't really demo it here because I only have the one. But if you have two, you turn on the one, you turn on the other, and you set that one on top of this one. They will sync with each other, and it will be a totally different voice. It's actually the Fourth Doctor, Tom Baker.
Are you serious?
Yes, and he's talking about being neither light or dark.
The Fourth Doctor? Because I don't think.
Well, he's
Disney
not
owns
acting
it.
as the Fourth Doctor. He was in one of the the cartoons, the animated series, and he played a character that was completely middle of the road Jedi. He wasn't light side or dark side. He was middle of the road. So that makes sense when you combine the two of them. That basically
you're lucky this isn't coming out for 4 weeks because
right.
Disney may not send you your shit.
Do you have to set a light side holocron on top of a dark side holocron, or is it
set
just any two?
Yeah, well, you can't really set this one on top of the Sith one because it's a pyramid. So you can only do it the one way. And then, and then as soon as you move it off to the side, they go separate again, which is really cool.
I wonder
it's very cool.
what nerd technician slipped that in.
I don't know,
out.
but it's cool because when you push on it to talk, they will flash in synchronization with the voice. So it's very cool. So anyway, so that's that. So you can you don't have to buy every crystal in the shop. You can just buy a white one and reprogram it to whatever color you really
Is it only the white ones that can be reprogrammed?
No, any of them can be reprogrammed. I just did it with the white one just so I'd keep it straight and I'd know that one was always my custom one.
Yeah.
R2-D2 is reminding us that while you don't have to buy every crystal in the shop, you do have to buy every droid in the shop.
Yes.
That's exactly what he said.
Let me have my little friends.
And if you don't have to buy a crystal for this to work, if you don't buy a crystal, it's a default voice, and I can't remember who the default voice is.
Can you
Might
just
be Yoda.
take your crystal out? And
Yeah.
find
It doesn't
out?
matter because Bill was just going to have them all.
Pull the crystal out and we'll see what his default is.
How
You
did
could
you
have said
get...
they're made out of plastic and not out of some kind of metal.
I know. How did you know what all the other codes were? What voice?
There have been people doing research. If you get on the right forums, you can find anything.
It's okay. You can just say 4chan. We're not gonna hold it against you.
And the Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi.
We are
Trust
fucked.
in the Force.
Is there any
Not
particular
return
reason they
to the
didn't
temple.
use Ian McGregor?
Yeah, that is
Our
Ian
future
McGregor.
is uncertain.
I think that's the voice from the Clone Wars.
Yeah. So
they
with no
own
crystal,
McGregor,
it's young Obi-Wan, and then unfortunately I don't have the Sith one. Well, I don't know what the Sith one does because mine never talked. So when I get the replacement Sith went in, we can.
It was
update.
unwilling to share the secrets of the dark side
Right,
with you.
right, because it already knows I'm dark enough, probably. So.
Yeah, tell yourself.
I have a feeling
Now-
this is going to be our most popular podcast of all time.
Yes. Now, the next cool thing is the droids. So let's get into the droids.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah, we really do have an hour's worth of content here. I was like, Bill, how are we going to fill a whole hour talking about Galaxy's Edge? But apparently
Yes.
you're like doing just like the unboxing of everything.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Well, so Disney at Batuu, Galaxy's Edge, when you go there, you can build your own custom droid. And when you build a droid, you can also get these backpacks, which I'm showing online here. And the backpack is kind of nice because it has a little zippered top section that folds down to reveal the face of the droid.
That's a cool bag.
And then the nice thing is, the cool thing is, as you walk around Galaxy's Edge, your droid will interact in different areas of the park with the park. So when you buy
That is cool.
When you buy a droid, like R2 here, you can put an optional personality chip in it. If you don't put a personality chip in it, Linda, go ahead and play R2.
Like, do you get angry R2 as the
Well,
personality or happy
no.
R2?
So what happens is, R2 he'll make a bunch of different noises. If you don't put a personality chip in the droids, they will all make the same R2 slate of sounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Disney sells 6 different personality chips, of course.
And they all look the same, so you
No.
get random ones.
No. They are all specifically colored, and there's 2 that correspond to resistance personalities, 2 that are first order personalities, and
Assholes.
yes, and 2 that are smuggler personalities.
That's fun.
Bigger assholes, weirdly.
So therefore, you almost have to get 6 droids in order to have the one of each of the personalities.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the logic.
Right?
Yeah.
You couldn't just get one droid
Right.
and all the personalities because
No, because then you got to switch them out.
and that's just work.
Well,
That's
right.
hard.
Now,
Hard.
the other thing is too is that so let's say you get a droid and you put a resistance personality chip in it. Well, when you're in the resistance area of Batuu, your droid will make happy sounds. When you go into the first order area, he makes scared sounds, and sometimes he'll turn his face and hide it in the back of the backpack, so he's not looking out.
That's kind of adorable.
Yeah, it is.
But how are
And,
kids supposed to ride the rides if they're droid? I guess mom and dad are just sitting there holding it.
No, I'm
Yeah.
guessing that they've got special droid like check-in places.
I don't think they want the liability.
But they're just gonna give out more droids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, having to watch other people's droids.
Yeah.
Well,
Either
everybody
that
just
or the rides
everybody
are-
just takes them on the ride, and you
Yeah.
just pull them off and put it in your lap.
Which brings us to our next point.
Yes.
Did you hack the park?
Well, so with the droids, the droids, the
No
way
direct
that
answers.
works.
I know. That's yeah.
Yeah. So the way the droids work is they work with a BLE, which is Bluetooth Low Energy.
I never said yes, Your Honor.
No,
And
no.
so
Linda, was that you?
yes.
Ah.
So as you're walking around, the droids, if they pick up a specific Bluetooth signal from the resistance area, they know to make certain sounds and certain motions. Same if they're in a resistance area, or if they're at the droid depot, or if they're at Oga's Cantina, or wherever. Now, if you have an Android phone, you can download an app called NRF, and it's free. You can also get the same app for Apple iPhone. And what that app will let you do is, and I'll turn this on here and then I'll hold it up to the camera so people can see that are watching the video.
Okay, is that the same as that?
It is.
What you can do, not necessarily what you did do. Is what you're
Correct.
Trying for, yeah.
So NRF Connect is the app, and I'm going to go up and show people what this looks like on the camera.
Or we can just put it on the webpage.
Yeah, go to this camera, Linda. All right, so let's see, will it focus?
This is quality TV right
Yeah, it's
here.
Right here. So this is
Yeah,
what-
I think, Bill, you're just going to have to put a
Yeah.
link.
Oh,
Oh,
there we
there you
go.
go.
There we go.
There you go, you can see it. And then if you open up the app,
The link would be so much easier.
So you can see, so right now it goes into scan mode, and you can see it's picking up all of my droids. They're sending out signals. Now the cool thing is that you can go to the advertiser side, and you can have the Android phone put out any Bluetooth low energy signal you want.
Now it's all blurry.
So if you duplicate the signals that Galaxy's Edge sends out, you can very easily send off all of your droids and make them react as if they're in the park.
There's a 13-year-old who's gonna be really evil now.
So
Were you doing that
Every
all through the park?
13-year-old is evil,
yes,
Jenna.
so now the difference between Android and iPhone is that Android phones will allow you to transmit BLE codes. iPhones do not. So if you have an iPhone, that's not going to work for you. You can certainly scan codes, but you're not going to be able to send any out. Now, if you have an iPhone and you buy droids and you bring them home and you want them to react in your house like they're at Galaxy's Edge, your kids would like that, you can purchase a device like this. And I'm going to show this to the camera.
This is why we have screenshots.
Well, yeah, we'll put that up too, but it's just kind of nice to show you. So this is a little microbit chip. And
In no way does it look like anything you'd build in a terrorist basement.
No. And if you plug this in, it'll light up.
Okay, now that just kind of looks cool.
Yeah. Now it's sending out a code for Doc Ondar's, which is the antiquities shop. And so by pushing one of these buttons, you can change the code it puts out. So now it's doing oil bath.
Oh no. Who
So-
wants bath time?
Yeah. So now when it sends out these codes, the droids only react like once every minute or two to the code, so that they're not going all the time. So when you change the code, and I'll just set this here, and it'll just keep putting out the oil bath code.
No, I don't want a bath.
Right. So they'll react and do that. So when we were at Disney's Galaxy's Edge, I had my Android phone and, or actually Linda's Android phone, putting out codes as we walked around. Now, that said,
no, I swear, it's a lie.
it's a lie. Now that said, the park, the weekend we were there, it was Valentine's Day weekend. And Monday was a holiday, President's Day, and everybody was off. The park was jam-packed with humanity. And it was so loud, you could barely hear the droids in your own backpack. So while I was setting off other people's droids, I couldn't really tell. So
And that's what's important.
that's what's important. But I knew in my mind I was giving people some fun because their droids were more active than they would have been when they were in the area with me.
Just a big kid at heart.
Yeah, it was just kind of fun, just getting everything going. So it's kind of fun. So the droids are reacting to this code now, and you can scroll through. There's like 7 different codes on here: oil bath, Doc Ondar's. There's here's the resistance one, and the nice thing is it scrolls through and spells out which one you're on. So,
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn that off for now. So the nice thing is when you do this, if you shut it off, the droids will be quiet for about an hour. Or maybe an hour and 10 minutes, something like that. If you don't do that and you just turn on all the droids, every 5 minutes or so they'll start talking to each other. So it's just we had them up sitting on the fireplace. We were watching Star Trek the other night, and I turned on the droids because I was playing with some of the remotes, and then we sat there, and then pretty soon every 5 minutes, they'd start talking, and they'd go back and forth, and I'm like, damn, now I gotta back it up, and because I missed part of the show.
So what are they rechargeable batteries? Do they take big old C or D batteries?
No, they take the AA batteries.
Okay.
They come with a set of AA. I've replaced all of those with rechargeables.
Of course.
Just because I was,
Don't want to doom the planet just through
Right,
your own capitalism.
Well, it saves a lot of money too, which Bill needs
Yes.
to because he bought like a small car's worth of droids, and so it's like.
So, and then, so in addition to the 6 that I needed to get one of each crystal,
Needed.
right, we also got the BB model. Now, the BB model does have a chip in him. He's got a smuggler chip, I think. And I realized that so R2 does not have a chip. R2 is the default because he makes the default R2 noises, and I wanted a default R2. But then when we got home and I got all these, I suddenly realized I don't have a default BB-8.
Oh.
No.
So we're going back in September.
Oh my God.
They're not going to let you in the park, Bill.
We're
You've
going back
ruined
in
it.
September. I've got a disguise ready. We're going back and we're going to get a BB-8. Plus, also, Lynn and I had a big argument at the park because I wanted to get. So you know what the
Which
top
means
of
it took more power for you to use your Jedi mind trick to make her do what you want.
right. Well, the problem is that it didn't help that Josh Cato was with us, and Josh Cato was instigating and
Oh my God.
trying to generate friction. So this top part of R2's head, they actually sell there as a popcorn bowl. And it's all metal, and it's really well done, but it's about $100. And Linda's like, we're not spending $100 for a popcorn bowl. And plus, since I'd already bought all this other shit.
It's so cute when you pretend to resist.
Yeah. So she stood her ground, and I relented. But now in September.
Because 7 droids.
Right. So I said, you realize
I
in
count
September.
8.
Yeah, there's 8.
And
so we have
you lost your mind when before you left, and he said he was going to do 5.
Yeah, how did he talk you into 8?
Because they were just so cute, Seth. So cute. They needed homes.
It just did one of these. It's like,
yeah,
it's okay. You're
right.
going to love it. It's going to be great.
Right. And so then we also have the mouse droid, which.
For our listening audience, it's a cute little 4-wheeled black droid.
Yeah, this is the droid that Chewbacca yelled at in the Death Star.
Right. And then he also opens up the sides.
Oh, wait. Do you want people to see you?
Yeah. You better move the book. So if people are
yeah.
watching, I don't know if it might be too dark for them to see. But I'm going to open it up. And then he also fires darts. And fortunately, he's aimed right at John.
Unfortunately.
Not quite. Here we go.
Oh,
There
you go. That should go on either side of John.
Oh, that's the money shot, baby.
Right in the nipple.
That's what Disney said when Bill spent all this money.
Right.
We have dogs getting darts, so we have to stop.
Yeah, so we're collecting darts. So,
there's still one.
You should 3D print more darts.
yes. Well, they said that when you buy it, it comes with like 20 some darts. So I've got.
Did it?
Yeah. So I've got
Nice.
extras, which is nice.
Plan on people losing them.
Yeah. So that's that. What else? Oh, we got the Djaric chessboard, which is the same chess set you see on the original Star Wars that Chewbacca's playing with R2, and C-3PO says, "I have a new strategy, R2, let the Wookiee win." So they've got that, and
it's not holographic.
It's not holographic,
but it's neat.
But it does
looks
come
the way
with
it
the
was.
characters, cast characters, and it comes with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's pretty nice wood, but not holographic.
No.
But it's a real game.
It's a real game, and there's actually
Rules and such.
Yeah. So
It looks like the space Roomba has some bugs on the top of it.
here's what the rules look like. I'll open this up.
I don't know if people will care about
They
that.
can't really see, but it also lists out the names of each of the characters. Here, I'll pass this around so you guys can look at it. And the nice thing is that when you're done playing Star Wars chess, you can also flip the board around and play normal checkers.
That's actually pretty economical.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. So, but I will pass this around. Feel how heavy that is.
Oh, jeez.
That
Feels like-
requires a little
Wow.
little extra
That's
cost
solid.
for shipping. Yes,
Feels like my mom's pancakes.
but it's certainly certainly
Ugh.
high quality.
Jesus.
I know, right?
Yeah.
How much did that one set you back?
Man.
Linda, I don't know, probably.
Linda's
By
giving
that
up.
point, he was in a buying frenzy. He just whited out, and he woke up in his hotel
I don't
room full
remember
of
exactly. I can put it on.
Star
I can
Wars
put it
merchandise.
Just
on
like-
there.
8 droids in bed.
smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
The lightsabers flickering and going out.
And then we got this. They sell a lot of these Millennium Falcons. They sell like little die-cast ones, and I almost got the die-cast one. And then this one though was kind of cool
Yeah.
because it lights up and makes different noises.
Show it this way, camera.
Oh,
Camera.
camera. Oh,
So
camera. Switch to.
There you go.
I know what I'm going to title this episode. It's going to be Bill's Toy Hour.
Yeah. Oh, and then
Just make sure you do Star Wars Toys Hour so it shows up in searches.
And then all the Cokes you buy there look like thermal detonators.
See, that would easily get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, one thing that was very cool. So when we went out, let me see that. When we went, the reason we went out there initially was for Gallifrey 1, which is a Doctor Who convention.
Yeah.
But we decided on that Sunday we would go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge since we were out there and take advantage of it. Well, while we were at Galaxy's Edge, there was a guy that had taken a couple of the tops of these thermal detonators and repainted one of these R2 units and put it on there and made it into a Dalek. And you, if you look on YouTube, you can find instructions for making custom personality chips.
Oh.
And so he reprogrammed a new
that's
personality chip, and it all says Dalek stuff, exterminate, and all this stuff every time he hits the button. So, yeah, so it was pretty cool. So
That's your new summer project?
so now I need another thermal
No,
detonator.
you will not sacrifice
Needs
R2
another
for that. I'm
thermal
putting my
detonator.
foot.
You
He'll
need
buy a
another
new one.
R2.
And I need another droid that can be turned into a Dalek
Linda, I think he has a small problem.
Well, I think the 9 lightsabers, we figured that out.
I think
Yeah.
the problem might be Linda's.
droid. I think that's why Linda invited you all here for an intervention.
But Linda, you should have told
We're
me
all
this. I would have brought the
enablers, though.
intervention paddle.
Ooh. We may have to schedule multiple interventions.
Oh my.
He likes
So,
I need an adult.
so they also have like just regular backpacks. So
a
if you
pretty
don't
cool
want to get
backpack.
the
That is, I
if
do
you don't
like
want to get the droid backpack, you can get a resistance backpack. I think they also have first order backpacks, but I'm not a big first order guy, so I didn't do that. Oh, there's
More stuff in there that you forgot about.
yeah,
More, yeah.
That you hid from Linda and brought back?
probably.
At least
So
he's on
you
it.
have
Oh yeah, I
you
forgot
have
about
2
this.
backpacks, 2,
That is-
3
Oh, let me
backpacks.
see.
That's resistance badges,
Oh,
rank
that's
badges.
neat.
I got
Patches.
I
patches.
like that.
tons of patches.
Yeah, I got a few patches.
Well, that's cool.
Maybe I can pass those around.
That is
Oh
really
my
cool.
goodness! You cleaned them out.
Well, I kind of did.
Oh.
Oh, here's another resistance patch. Put that with those. I must have pulled him out of
What
the
are
bag.
these? Are you just pins?
They're magnetic, so you you can go ahead and pull them out of there. You'll see they have magnetic backing. So you put the magnetic part behind your shirt, and then you put the pin on the front.
I kind of want the indoor patch.
Well, if you
for
have
my-
one that you want, when we go back in September, let me know, and I'll pick it up for you.
Ooh. Do they have my murder bears?
Murder bears. Oh,
Ewoks. They have to
I
have
think
Ewoks
they had
you could buy.
Ewoks. Yeah,
I can't remember.
probably in the maybe in the creature stall.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
So-
they're just metal.
Yeah, they're metal with a magnetic
See, that's
backing.
what's nice, is that they're legit metal.
Yeah, and then they also have the Kowakian lizard monkey.
You dropped the dice.
Yeah, I have to get the dice.
Hans got it.
Oh, that sits on your, it's a air puppet.
Yes.
It sits on your shoulder.
Yep, and
Oh
it
my
has a
God.
little magnetic thing. So you put the magnetic
Shoulder strap on?
Yeah, put the magnetic strap underneath your jacket or shirt,
So he sits
and then
up
this
there.
guy sits on your shoulder, and then you have this little remote thing, so you can turn his head,
Oh,
so he looks, and then you
that's adorable.
can make him laugh.
Does he like reach and twitch his arms too?
No, his arms don't move, but you can check him out.
Neat.
So he's kind of fun. So I had to get a Kowakian lizard monkey. And he comes in a nice little box that looks like a little cage when you're at the creature stall.
Ah,
But he's fully articulated, so his legs, arms
His,
and legs
his
move.
articulated joints are weird. I
Yeah.
didn't realize from the movie how weirdly made he is.
Oh, and then they also have a sabacc game.
Ah,
which I don't know how to play yet, but oop, more cards.
dice.
Oh, man.
So,
I win.
Here's the Sabak cards, and they're kind of, you know,
Yeah.
Star Warsy
Jeez.
playing cards essentially.
Oh, you
These are
got
heavy.
the Luke dice.
Yeah.
Boo.
No.
Boo,
Those are Han
boo,
Solos.
boo,
What?
boo,
I thought those were
boo,
Han
boo,
Solos because they were in the
boo,
Millennium Falcon.
boo, boo, boo,
Well,
boo,
Luke
boo,
gave them to Leia at the end.
Yeah.
boo, 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 boo.
Well,
Sorry.
Now-
we've successfully entertained John for the next half an hour.
Yeah. Now the other thing.
Sean.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention.
That is fetching, sir.
Is
that
that-
is very nice.
In addition to
Just unrestrained.
in addition to buying the droids and the personality chips, you can also buy custom parts for your droids. So like R2 has guns.
Mhm.
This guy also has guns.
Neat.
So he's
I just
shooting a
got
gun.
shot. You're shooting me, Linda.
And then this guy, I'll bring him up here. Bruiser's fire his rockets. So he's got rockets on the side. So
That's
you can buy
cool.
the rockets. And then the other thing is you can buy boxes to customize the doors and the
Yeah.
parts on the front.
Can you get all that stuff like online after you get the
No.
droids, or do you have to get it at the park?
You have to get it at the park. So this whole
that's
bag down
amazing.
here.
You know people are
Listening.
developing 3D printer patterns for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
And God, Disney's gonna want to watch this. Just like it's just some executive just going like, oh yeah.
Yes. So essentially, this
Is this
bag.
another bag you bought?
Well, this is a bag. This is a bag that I bought at the Star
Uh-oh.
Wars con we went to.
Oh.
No, Star Trek. wasn't it?
Star Trek. So essentially, I've got extra parts
Of course you do.
for in case I want to change the colors of the droids. So,
Because why not?
well, because I wasn't sure what colors I wanted to make them when I was all done.
He may want to make them more
Some of
festive
them I've
for the
already
holidays.
used. Right.
You
Holiday
know,
festive stuff.
1 in 5
God, I
kids
wish I
isn't
had
gonna
your
eat
money,
today,
Bill.
right?
Yeah.
No,
These
you
are-
wish you had his Swiss
Oh.
bank accounts with unmarked routing numbers.
And then I also
His
got a
money,
resistance
yes.
flag.
Oh,
Nice.
sweet.
I wasn't sure what I was going to
Are we
do.
gonna
You should fly that.
Fly
You should
it.
like
Yeah.
actually put it out in front of your house. It's
I
like,
think I will.
We had
I
had
was thinking about doing a Federation flag myself. But
we were flying the flag of the Resistance from Firefly out in our yard for
Oh, sweet.
until it fell apart.
Ah.
I know we've got a big flag pole in our yard. I should be flying something.
You brown coat you.
Oh, thank you.
You can't take the sky from me.
No.
Oh yeah, so the
No, I cannot.
Kowakian lizard monkey is $60.
Really? That's
Yeah.
that's like cheap.
Yeah, that's
I
not
was
bad.
like,
Yeah.
I kind of was expecting.
Now,
It's
if
like-
you want something that's
You were expecting Disney
free,
to fleece him more?
if you
Is
want,
that- did you get a free monkey because of all the
No.
stuff you bought?
no,
or
you
what?
don't get anything free there. Now, I will say 2 tips. One is that helped a lot. If you apply for and get a Disney Visa card,
Of course.
they will give you a $250 credit. So I did that. So that gave me $250 extra, which I spent several times for
Oh,
Linda.
Several times over.
I said, Linda, I'm using the 250. Linda, I'm using the 250. Anyway, so there's that. Plus, if you any of the stuff that you buy, with the exception of lightsabers and droids, you get 10% off on. So that's very helpful.
So think of all the money you saved.
Yes, so that's what I kept saying.
10%
Like a card
off
charges
of
50%
the-
interest.
The
yeah,
retail price.
which is probably raised. I
If
can't
you-
even I could say it was raised 30%, but since Disney actually invented this market,
Yeah.
no
Now,
one
if you,
will ever know how much this stuff really costs. Since
Now-
it's probably made by like Asian child slaves,
probably.
it's like costs nothing.
And things got darker.
Right, but
Yeah.
in all fairness, I finished the assembly, so I saved some of that labor.
Okay.
So you worked for free
Yes,
to build the thing
right.
that they sold you.
Exactly.
So what you're trying to say is you toiled miserably to
Yes.
save Linda money.
Yes.
No, that was the
Okay.
experience. The experience.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now the other
Wow.
thing is, and this is very cool. So this is Batuan Spira, which is the currency that they use in Batu, and I'll pass this around so you can see. I'll pass one
Okay,
that way.
that is actually really cool. I'm a sucker for metal coins.
And I'll pass this one this way.
Neat.
So those technically are like gift cards.
Really?
So if you buy them, it doesn't cost anything. You just say, I want one of those, but you have to put $100 on it. But then you spend the $100 in the park, and then you have that left over as a permanent souvenir. So if you're going to spend $100 already, which
might as well get some
I
cool
mean,
metal
shit,
coins.
the lizard monkey's $60 alone. So I mean, you're going to blow through that. Yeah, and I mean, you can use it for food. You can use it for anything.
That's actually clever. I
anything
like
in the
that.
park. Yeah.
Well, Disney's actually really clever about finding ways to like keep you from like having to pull your wallet out.
Yeah.
So, well, no, because then you lose the wallet, and then they have to take care of you. But if they sell you these,
yes,
it's basically secure currency almost, unless
Right.
you forget one of these
It also
somewhere.
makes you stop thinking of what you're spending. You just have all this on this ding, ding, ding. You're just rubbing it all through.
Oh, I better recharge this real quick.
Yeah.
And I will say that while it looks like I have a lot of stuff here, they have a lot more stuff that you can buy there.
I'm sure.
I mean, you can imagine. I mean, they had like about this size, and I'm holding my hands maybe about a little over a foot apart, made out of all wood. That was a Jawa sand crawler. And it opened up the front, and there were little Jawas in it you could pull out.
Like a doll.
Yes, right.
Houdini!
Right. I mean, just lots of things like that. Pictures that you could buy. And, the other thing you can do is if you're going there, pay the extra money and get the Fast Pass.
Yeah.
Because the Fast Pass
Pass is
also
always
gives
worth it.
you free photos.
Oh.
And so all through not only Disneyland but Batuu as well, there's photographers everywhere, especially like by the Millennium Falcon, and they have an area reserved so you can get up there and get personalized pictures in front of the Millennium Falcon from a photographer, and then they just upload it to the cloud and you download it whenever you want it. And that works all over Disneyland, so I would recommend doing that.
I'm surprised
if
we're
you're
not
going
looking
there.
at those pictures right now.
We can certainly post some of those on there.
Yeah.
We've got them all up on Facebook right now, but we'll throw some up. So there's that. The other thing that was really cool is the Rise of the Resistance ride, which opened in December.
I've heard that's amazing.
It is absolutely amazing. There's parts where you're being chased by
Isn't
Kylo
it 20
Ren.
minutes long?
It's like almost a half hour long, probably close to a half hour long. And there's parts where Kylo Ren's chasing you, and he actually stabs his lightsaber through the top of the shuttle you're on and starts cutting a hole in the deck.
It's not great for a shuttle.
Not great for a shuttle, no, but it's pretty amazing. And as you're going through the thing, the stormtroopers are firing at you, and the laser bolts are swinging by. So you actually see, just like in the movie, the laser thing swinging by. And I actually did some research on how they did that, and it's pretty amazing. Basically, they fire with their guns, and then there are these like LED lights that are suspended on these rods in the ceiling that are on like a pendulum. And when they fire, the pendulum comes down and it lights the rod as it's right here, and it passes the light signal onto the next rod, and it just goes down the whole thing. And the rods are painted black, and it's dark enough in there you cannot see the rods at all. All you see is this firebolt just shooting down the aisle.
That's pretty.
That
pretty
was
cool.
really amazing. And then when you go into one area, and there are full-size AT-ATs in this spaceship, and you go in there, and suddenly you're below, and the guards are shooting at you. Quick, get on this elevator that's supposed to go down and take you to an escape pod, but the elevator goes the wrong way and takes you up to the second floor. So now you're right in eye line with the command unit on the AT-AT, and the guys in there see you, and they're like, holy shit. So then all of a sudden the giant guns of the AT-AT come down and start firing at you. And for that, they have tracks in the ceiling full of LED lights.
Yeah.
And the thing and the sound just goes, you feel the sound going right by you. I mean, they must have speakers all the way down the hallway, because you fear it shooting behind you, and then the back wall explodes like it's been hit by the fire.
Wow.
God, I need to take my dad here.
Oh my God, it is so immersive you can't believe it.
I need to take my dad.
Josh Cato, who went with us, had never been to a Disneyland park before, and that was the first ride we actually took him on. So everything beyond that was kind of a letdown. And he got on that ride and he goes, oh my God, he just couldn't believe it. He'd
I
never
can't
seen
wait
anything
to
like
do
it.
Splash Mountain. That's gonna be amazing.
Well, and
God.
the most amazing thing to people is when you start the ride, you're going through this set of resistance caves, and then you come to a spot, and Ray comes on, and she's a full-sized hologram standing up there, and it looks 3D. 3D hologram. It's just amazing. They do it with like one-way mirrors and reflection and all this kind of stuff. And anyway, she welcomes you to the Resistance, and you get on this Resistance transport that's going to take you to a training base. And so you fly, and it's amazing because the shuttle has windows in the front and the back. And as you get on the shuttle, you're actually looking out at the place where you just got on, and you can see the back. And then all of a sudden, the thing will launch, and you'll see the back wall of the rock face glow blue with the thrusters as you're lifting off, and you see it actually lift off, and you can feel it turning and moving. And you go up into space, and then all of a sudden you're attacked by TIE fighters, and then all of a sudden you're caught in a tractor beam and pulled onto a Star Destroyer. And then you land, and then all of a sudden the door opens up, and this First Order guy walks on, and it's the same door you just walked in on from outside on Bat 2. And now you walk out, and you are in like where the Millennium Falcon was taken on to the Star Destroyer in the first one. That's what you walk out into, and just 3 rows deep of stormtroopers, about 20 long, standing there. Now, I'm sure most of them are just statues, but some of them move. You can see their heads turning, so they're animatronic figures. And then there's some real ones there as well. And they end up forcing you down to the detention area, and you're put into a detention cell. And eventually the Resistance attacks, and so you're being interrogated by Kylo Ren and General Hux, and they have to run up to the bridge. And when that happens, suddenly a lightsaber sticks through the wall and cuts a hole in the wall. They pull the wall out, and you go out that way and get onto a transport to continue the ride through the Star Destroyer that you're trying to escape from. That's how you end up running into the AT-ATs and everything.
That's crazy.
Oh my God!
That's
and I hear
running.
I hear the experience is actually different every time. Like they've. Did you go on it once or multiple?
We
times?
went on it once, but I've seen videos of other people have gone on it, and it's the same. The only difference is you can go down different paths, and then you get into different cars. And depending upon which car you get in, depends upon whether when you go up to the second floor, you're facing the AT-AT or you're facing the side of the AT-AT. But it's pretty much the same general experience for everybody.
Now, see, I've been to their last Star Wars ride they did at Disney World.
Yeah. And they still have that, the C-3PO and R2-D2, and we did that while we were there too.
And that one was pretty fun. Like the one at Disney World has something like 20 to 40 different scenarios that you can go through.
Oh my God.
So it's different every time.
Yeah, this one had obviously been updated with the recent movies. When you went through the one with R2-D2 and C-3PO, it's Star Tours.
Yeah, Star Tours, that's what it is.
Yeah, and so that's obviously been updated to be current with where they are with the movies and to blend into what's going on with Bat 2 and all of that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that's tricky is being able to actually get on the right of the Resistance ride. So there are no lines for that ride.
So it's First Blood deathmatch?
Pretty much. Essentially, what happens is they open up the park at 7 o'clock, so people can use their tickets and get into the park. You actually have to use your ticket and be in the park before 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, they open up the boarding pass online request system. And at 8 o'clock, there's like 100,000 people or more in the park that are punching that button to get a boarding pass. And if you get a boarding pass above 82, you're not guaranteed to get on the ride for the day.
God.
So I can't tell you.
That seems just dark.
Yeah.
Tell us a story about how you got on Pinocchio.
Well, so I had watched a lot of YouTube videos about how people were doing this to get on. So you don't want to be on the park's Wi-Fi because that is just swamped, and a lot of the areas the coverage isn't that good. So the recommendation for most people was to be on your cell service, and then to find an open area of the park and be as far away from other people as possible so that your bandwidth isn't getting chewed up.
Really easy in a Disney park on a holiday weekend.
Right, it was not easy. But so I had watched a couple people do it, and then what I did is I went to looked up a lot of photos and figured out where those people were standing that were getting the good stuff. So that's where we went. And then we had Josh, Linda, and I, and our friend Julie was also with us, and we stood like about 10 feet apart, almost like we were infected with the coronavirus. And then at 8 o'clock, everybody started hitting the button, and Josh got boarding pass group 18. So that was risky. But it's kind of amazing. At 8 o'clock, it's just dead silent. People are hitting that button, and all the boarding groups are gone like in 30 seconds.
Once again, you win because you read the directions.
Right,
Okay.
right. And so you can suddenly start hearing people cheering because they're getting confirmations that they're in a boarding group.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the people that aren't getting it, they're getting sorry, no boarding groups left for the day. Suddenly, the cheers of exultation go to cheers of like
or
this.
flat out swearing.
Pretty much.
God,
yeah.
fucking
Because
damn
if
it,
you're
paid
if you just have one day at the
$200
park
to
like
get
we
into the
did,
park.
Yeah.
and you don't get it, you're screwed. You're out. You're done.
You got to pay another $200.
Yeah.
to
Now
get
the
back
nice
in the
thing
park
is
again.
when your boarding group is called, you have 2 hours to get there and go through.
Mm-hmm.
And which is nice because if you've got reservations for things like the Droid Depot takes reservations, Savvy's Lightsaber takes reservations, Oga's Cantina takes reservations. If you have those reservations, you need to go to that stuff because if you don't go, they will bill you the full amount even though you didn't show.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Right.
Wow.
So
Well, that's actually I understand because the demand is so high.
right, right.
You'd be screwing. Well, you're screwing the park, but you're also screwing the people who would have gone.
Yeah. But, the lines and the amount of people there, I mean, they could take, and people do go up and ask for walk-ins. They want to go on standby in case somebody doesn't show up. But you can stand by for hours waiting for a slot to open up. And for Oga's Cantina, people were walking up and asking if they could go on standby, and they said, no, there's no standby today. There is no standby. That was booked solid.
I understand, but that makes for sad people.
It does.
No,
it does.
And that's what all I can think about is, let's say you're not the most technically savvy person.
Yeah.
You don't think to do stuff like this.
Right.
Your park experience is going to be drastically different than
Yes.
because you
Yes.
played every angle because
Right.
your experience.
I did the research and I knew what I was doing.
But not
yeah.
everyone has the time
No.
to do that, and they're just thinking about their past childhood experiences growing up.
Yes.
We're just going to go to the amusement park and
Right.
it's going to work out. And we've advanced to the point it does not.
No. And the other thing that is
Advanced.
the other thing that is bad is that there will be most people will, when they're booking, they will see the notice that says if you're going to the Rise of the Resistance, you have to be in the park at 8 o'clock and use the app to get a boarding group. But it's not really clear that everybody that you want in your boarding group also has to be physically scanned into the park. So there are a lot of families that go to Disneyland and the families are sleeping late and the dad is like, well, I'll just go get us a boarding group. And the dad goes into the park and
Dad's saying, screw you, Timmy. I'm going on this ride.
And I knew this because we downloaded the app.
You read the directions.
Well, I downloaded the app, and then I also used a fake GPS app to make it seem like I was in the park at Disneyland because I wanted to go through the actual experience.
Of course you did. Are
And-
you still in the park?
No.
Are you sure?
But when you do that,
His money is.
the app comes back
it
and it
is.
says, you have not scanned your ticket into the park yet. You must scan your ticket into the park before you can
so
join a
people
boarding
can't
group.
game the system.
Right. So, which is great, but that parent that then goes there to get a boarding group, if he's got his whole family on there and he's the only one in the park, it will not let him get a boarding group. He will have to uncheck the rest of his family and he could get a boarding pass for himself, but the rest of his family's SOL. So there were a lot of people that I've seen reported that were angry because of that not being clear, and they got there to try to get on that ride, and they couldn't because their whole family wasn't there. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. Everybody has to be in the park.
Read
So
all the
the
fine
happiest
print.
place in the country is kicking out a bunch of very pissed off people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who spend a lot of money and what might be their only chance to ever financially go to this institution.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's a really dark place to
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
go
there's
this podcast.
you can see there's a lot of
Especially
disappointed
when they
people.
see Bill roll out with 6 droids and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Now-
Who's that guy?
now,
I want to be that guy.
Mr. Moneybags.
The other thing that's cool is, that let's say like Linda and I, we're from Omaha, we go out there and we want all of this cool stuff, but how are we going to get it home? So in Batu, you can either go to the Droid Depot or the First Order Cargo, and they will ship things home for you. And so you go there, and they want to see your receipt, and then they check off everything that's in your bag to make sure, and then they print you off a receipt, and they send that all home. And I had kind of an interesting experience with that because when I went there, so they will not let you cosplay as a Jedi and go in there because they don't want you to be mistaken for
Yeah,
a
stop.
cast member.
Right.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
So-
But they have a thing that they talk about on the Disney website called bounding. And what you can do is you can dress in the style of Star Wars as long as you're not dressed like an actual character or a physical person. So
which is what your cosplay is anyway.
right. So I got this jacket that was actually worn by Finn, but then I got different cargo pants that I figured would work, and so I kind of had some elements of him, but a little bit different.
Yeah, you don't look much like
No,
Finn.
right, right. So I figured that was pretty safe. So I wore that jacket, and Linda had a similar bounding outfit that we wore. So we went there, had no problem getting in. But my jacket is it's like a leather looking like thing. Well, it was going to be 75 there that day. And so as we got there, we started walking around. My jacket was way too hot.
A little bit.
And I'm like, oh, fuck, maybe I can just ship this back with the stuff that I'm shipping back, and then I'll just get a lighter weight jacket that I wanted anyway that they sold there. So I asked this lady where we were buying some stuff in the Resistance area. I said, well, can I ship stuff here? Because I didn't know there were only 2 spots at the time. We had already shipped some stuff from the Droid Depot. And she said, well, you have to be Droid Depot or the cargo place. And I said, okay. I said, well, I want to ship my jacket too. And she goes, no, then they're not going to ship your jacket. And I said, well, why not? And she goes, because if it were to get lost, they have no way to replace it. So they're going to check everything that you're shipping. They're going to give you a receipt for everything that's being shipped. So if something doesn't make it, Disney will replace it. I said, oh, okay, that makes sense. So we left there, and then I folded up my jacket and stuck it in my bag with my stuff and kind of tied it up. And we went back to Droid Depot because I'm like, the other option was to walk all the way to the front of the park back to lockers, which is about a mile walk, and get a locker and put it in. And I'm
So
like,
are you going to tell us rather than walk a mile, you bought more droids?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I went back to the Droid Depot, and because all the stuff we bought at the Resistance area, I wanted to ship back. So I went there. Well, the lady was really busy, and she didn't check my bags. And so they ended up taking my jacket along with everything else. And so we left there, and I was just so happy. I was high-fiving Linda. I'm like, fuck, that's beautiful. My jacket's getting shipped back home, right?
He beat the system.
I beat the system. Well, so then...
Are you surprised?
So then that afternoon, my phone starts ringing. And I look at my phone, and it's a number in Anaheim, California. And I'm like, those fucking telemarketers know every goddamn place you go, right? So I just ignored it and blocked it. Well, so then we get back home, and I'm going through my email, and one of them is a missed call from Disneyland with a voicemail. And so the guy goes, yeah, Mr. Newman, this is the customer service area at Disneyland. We've received some stuff that we're shipping to you, but there was an item in there that we weren't familiar with, and we just have some questions on it, wondering if you could call us. So I'm sure that was my jacket. So anyway, so I called the guy, and he says, we seem to have this leather jacket here. He said, but did you buy that in the park? And I said, well, no, I wore that with me, but it was such a hot day, I just stuck it in the bag and forgot about it.
I'm
And-
old. I'm senile.
That's right. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, well, is it a Star Wars jacket or is it a Star Trek jacket? And I'm like, well, it's a Star Wars jacket, but it was a Finn jacket, and it's got like a little black clip thing on it. And what I had done is I found a spare Star Trek Enterprise badge, a little metal thing, and I just siliconed it on there just to kind of do something weird, you know. And I said, no, it's a Star Wars jacket. And he goes, but it's got a Star Trek logo on it. I go, oh yeah, I stuck that on there. And he goes, you've had this place going crazy. People trying to figure out if it's really a Star Wars jacket or if it's a Star Trek jacket and which Star Trek series it would be from and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, we've been going crazy trying to figure that out. And he goes, well, no problem. He goes, we'll just go ahead and ship it to you. Give me your address. So they shipped it back. Well, then I got it. And 2 days after I got it, I got a call from Disney following up to make sure that I got it, which was nice. And so I said, oh, yeah, I got it fine. And she goes, yeah, you know, that jacket really had us going here. Yeah. We couldn't figure out if it was a Star Trek or a Star Wars jacket. I mean, it was just hilarious. It just must have had them going for a full day.
You're screwing with people.
Yes.
How come you're not wearing that jacket?
It's upstairs. I can bring it down if you want to see it.
Yeah.
But I wore this one because it's a.
How about you show us 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Or next episode, whenever we.
So
we do that.
I actually have a Star Wars story that I want to tell from
right.
when we went to the Star Tours.
Okay.
This would have been about 8 years ago now. But yeah, we went down to Disney World and went on Star Tours a couple times.
Okay.
And one of our trips through, there was this like 4 or 5-year-old girl who was there with her parents. And you know the Star Wars, like how they've got actors walking around in costume everywhere. Well, Star Tours, they've got stormtroopers that kind of go in patrols through the hallways.
Right.
Well, one of these patrols is going past, and this little 5-year-old girl, obviously, she's not. Stormtroopers are nothing to be scared of, so she starts chasing after some of them, like yelling like. Like she's a rebel fighting him, and she like got away from her dad and had like chased these stormtroopers all the way down the hall who were just ignoring her, and they like turn to go out one of the doors, and another patrol is coming right back through at the same time.
Yeah.
But with them is coming Darth Vader.
Oh, shit. And that changed her calculation a little bit?
Yeah. Darth Vader comes out of this door right into this little girl's, like, right
Face.
into her path, and she screams. And they just
awesome.
They just keep going on their path, marching right toward her. She screams and runs back to her dad. And Darth Vader just like walks over to the line and just like stands there looming for several seconds.
In their defense, I've worn a Stormtrooper helmet or two, and it's like it's hard to hear and it's really hard to see. So it's like usually they have like you've seen the 501st rolling around. They have a handler. Someone who goes out ahead of the hard armor to make sure that no one's
in the way.
What that little girl is doing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they didn't walk over her.
Well, listen, when we went to that same one, Star Tours, right, with C-3PO and R2-D2, and it was late it was probably about 8 o'clock, or it was dark there, I know, and we got there in the line. They got signs up telling you how long the line is, and it was like 45 minutes to an hour. I can't remember exactly because we went on so many rides. But as we're walking up there, we're trying to figure out where we need to go to get into the line. And I see this family talking to a couple of cast members, asking them where they go to get in to the line. So the cast member says, oh, okay, just go down here and go over here. And so I said, well, let's just follow them. So we did. And so they go over to this other cast member, and the cast member undoes this rope and lets him in. And we just follow him because I thought, well, it's late. Maybe they're just, cutting some of the extra rope line a while, right?
You followed a special needs person onto the ride, didn't you?
We did. We didn't realize until we started passing everybody that was in line.
We understand. We do.
Everybody was, and all of a sudden we're right up in front of the doors to get on the ride. And I turned to Linda and Josh and Julie were with us, and we're all looking at each other like, how in the fuck did we get on up here? And then all of a sudden we realized that we were in this other family. It was special needs, and they thought that we were all part of the same family.
So don't do that.
No,
but
don't
do that.
As we end this podcast, it's obvious that if you're going to go to any of the Disney parks, do your research. watch YouTube videos, have a clear plan and a checklist, and make sure you download all the apps before you get out there.
Right.
And, bring Bill with you. You might, get away with a free droid just because he couldn't keep track of them all.
Right.
See?
Thank you, R2.
But yeah,
R2's coming home with me.
Everybody's going crazy.
hopefully this has been a fun podcast for everyone. Gives you some ideas on how to handle your own trip if you eventually get out there.
Yep.
Join us next time on Bill's Consumerism Hour.
All right. Thanks all for watching. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space or subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit our gravity well.